having some video upload effort. So neurolinguistic programming, secret surveillance derived trigger words. That's not going to be protected speech. That's like yelling fire in a movie theater just covertly. Synthetic telepathy, non-consensual sender-receiver relationships with brains. That's never going to be protected speech by the Supreme Court. Feel free to sort of mull that one over. I think it's probably pretty self-evident for most people that know the Constitution. And I have no Bill of Rights, I have no Constitution. Having the synthetic telepathy headgear, since I'm a non-consensual, synthetically telepathic, beat-up neurolinguistic program, tortured TI, is similar to being able to own a shotgun for home defense. I may need to wrap myself in lead blankets and magnets and have a home insurance policy in case they break in to destroy the gear. But these monitor consciousnesses, exactly similar to Kevin Christian in Georgia, that have attacked me and my family out of Central Command leadership from 2004, called the hit out of my family. My mom is remote tortured tinnitus. My dad a remote torture stroke, I suspected. Myself NLP, trauma-based mind control, every 15 to 20 seconds by about 5,000 that have come out and attacked me from the Electric Corps, InfoGuard, Command Central. Often, unfortunately, sometimes good people just fed bad info. I was in the repeating temptations of this that happened in Germany and Russia, the secret surveillance groups. The temptation was to turn in good people over false allegations of crime, which likely was my situation through outfits like the Titan Fusion Center in Oregon. Anyways, I think I need to try and take my own mind back, similar to the rights of Americans founding this country and having a right to bear arms. The NLP's driving me crazy. It makes me ill. I've been disabled for 15 years. Not really allowed to think for myself or big picture at all, because every 15 to 20 seconds, one of these expert monitor consciousnesses in torture contractors, they've been called, is making my brain an illegal receiver for their ill. Tortured every day, every waking hour, every minute I'm tortured. And so, like, I met some of their cult members in a perp and got really mad at those in the Electric Corps, InfoGuard, Fusion Center groups that were worshiping in virtue signaling, satanic misdirection, satanic mimicry, and speed of thought, theft of personhood. They were being misled also in some pretty technical applications for psychological operations. So I forgive you. I'm sorry for getting so angry. If you had a normal sender-receiver relationship with me that was consensual, we may have gotten along. These people that had never stopped having monitor consciousnesses here and show up for the broadcast to virtue signal as I'm being suicided, applied narcissism, psychological operations manuals, intel, torture techniques, professional, weaponized, weapons grade dummies. Dumb dummies is the allegation. I mean, some stone cold, can't fucking die. Perpetopolis perping from a deep underground military base. Top of the toilet. I've had the headgear since like a long time ago or whatnot. Deep state. Some of the crap that I spill out of my mind in speculations. A lot of these people are just think they're doing the right thing, and they're fed bad info by what appears to be a cop, and it's like an NLP perp from Command Central trying to, long-term Zug streak apolitical dissident who has made a non-consensual synthetic telepath in his 20s and has never stopped being tortured for like over 12 years of this shit. I thought it was only mental illness. I didn't know there's like real people torturing me. I thought it was only like psychosis or something like that. No, I'm exactly like Kevin Christian in that regard. But he was an aware TI the last 5 years of his torture. He sees clouds and they evaporate. Out of that movie, The Men Who Stare at Goats, because this broadcast like the microwaves melt the clouds. Anyways, I'm sorry for getting so pissed. I'm getting hit in the stomach now with remote torture, internal organ damage. So there was some talk here recently, somebody bouncing a sound off a bird, saying that he was refusing to follow orders. However that works in any of this, and the community-based agent Electric Core and Command Central and the International Synthetic Telepathy Agenda and a political dissident. But he's like, yeah, I'm refusing to obey orders, admit that I'm not the good guy, and like identity theft at speed of thought for 15 years, like trying to, that's me, and then it's really another person, really elaborate shit, and then making that lie and pressing it through the synthetic telepathy agenda where nobody's saved, and they're like, anybody that's worth their salt at Command Central under this shit, COINTELPRO, and who saw onceandforall.com and stuff like that will know that no false savior, anything in this crap is ever going to really hold up, and it's just an illusion, and people really need to look out for themselves. And I've never been in a gang. I'm not a perp. There's been illegal sender-receiver relationships with my brain. I've been used for cults. Yeah, like to mislead people like horribly and abuse them also. Like, so many MK Ultra or Monarch or other kinds of slaves to this stuff. Yeah, my country betrayed me in my 20s. I can't fight back. I didn't even know that these people weren't psychosis for like 12 years of my torture. My aunt is so tortured in LA, it's hard to even hear her report to me some of the stuff that's done to her. She's using lead clothes and magnets too, and it's covert menticide, eugenics, genocide, deny life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I am a POW, and I have been for 15 years. It's what all the Nazi scientists learned since exterminating Jews in Germany, now with whiz-bang more remote torture, and you get to rape them too. So you got that going for you. Electromagnetic frequency broadcast Nazi America, which is a real thing. And I say this, and look at me, like, I'm really white. I'm like, I make other dudes look less white. I mean, that is a white man. White slavery. I'm handled. I'm tortured every day in some of the most inhumane ways, devised on purpose. Neurolinguistic programming is never going to be protected speech. Synthetic telepathy is never going to be protected speech. And having your mind removed from a cult by being able to get that gear should be an insurance code for openbci.com. And it's similar to the right to bear arms in the early part of this country, with people being able to protect their home and body from the overreach of government or criminal gangs, or both, all under the Department of Homeland Security. What trips me out about this, I may have picked my birthday, in Buddhism you kind of did, is that possibly, like, Bush and I share at least one ancestor. And he was like, a monitor misled me around my birthday, 6506, but he happened to be president at the time, and that guy was set up on September the 11th. That was a missile wrapped in a blue beam hologram to look like a plane, not an actual plane. Bush was set up. Yeah. I think even more than, like, the punching bag or piñata position of the U.S. president, like, everybody gives a shit. Like, his particular presidency with the 9/11, the towers, he got set up. I have empathy, and it's not only because I was tortured or rendered. But I have been tortured and rendered. A lot. Too much.